Now, there's only one thing more irritating than fighting an insurance company who's trying to knock out your bona fide claim. Your call is important to us, sir. No, it's not. You are lying. You have a bot lying to us. Our call is not important to us, sir. You just want to put us off and rip us off. Your call is important to us. So the only thing more irritating than that, and we're on a very important subject here, things are going to change in the land of insurance. The worst thing than fighting an insurance company to get your money back is not even being able to afford insurance and being the victim of a fire or a flood or some natural disaster. It is true that the insurance companies are making record profits. They're making a lot of money at the moment, but the time will come. They're living big and on the fat profits at the moment. But there's going to be lean times when the natural disasters keep mounting, keep hitting. So in the end, we're speculating here that the government is going to have to step into the insurance market because right now, many Australians, hundreds of thousands, are uninsured. They can't get insurance for their house. They can lose everything, and there's nothing they can do about it. When we say that, it's not a matter of getting a point blank no, we won't insure you. The problem is, how does a normal household afford $30,000, say, a year in insurance costs for home and content? That's just one segment. It's out of reach, while the insurance companies make dazzling profits, and nobody can actually see how they make them because financial markets, the analysts, they all know these are black boxes. They don't know what their reinsurance deals are and how much profit they've got in these deals and so on. Can't see where the money's going. So what happened many years ago in the 1990s in this wave of microeconomic reform, privatisation, what a great thing that was. See what it did to electricity prices. Privatisation. Well, what happens is they privatised the insurance companies, the state insurance companies. So they privatised not only the GIO in New South Wales, but the SGIO. I think they privatised, they sold off the one in WA too, Victoria. And Queensland was Suncorp. Prominent bought Suncorp. Suncorp was a bank and insurance group for a while, and then it's just been taken over by good old ANZ because the ACCC didn't oppose them going from 5 banks to 4. That's ridiculous, but it's another story. In any case, they're all privatised. Now they're making huge profits and they're making insurance cover too expensive for ordinary Australians, particularly if you're in a bushfire-prone area or a floodplain, too difficult to access. So when the natural disasters come, it's going to be pretty hairy. Now, there's a guy called Ian Westmoreland. Ian does a great job mentoring and doing Australian stories about people. He's looked into a lot of Australian insurance stories. He's looked into the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires in Victoria, terrible disaster, the 2022 Hunter Valley floods in New South Wales, the 2022-23 River Murray floods in South Australia, and he's done people's personal stories, and they're heartrending. They're terrible stories. People left destitute, losing everything, absolutely everything that they worked their whole lives to achieve. He says, Ian, one of the consistent themes coming out of these projects is the challenges many people living in fire or flood-prone areas have with building insurance, including unable to obtain insurance at any cost, the exorbitant cost of insurance. One pensioner's building insurance, for instance, went from $5,000 to $30,000. And where do you get that extra lazy $25K from? To go to the insurance company shareholders and their profits. Who has $25K? Most lying around for insurance. Most people don't. So it is unaffordable, and if everything goes, it's even worse. And delaying payments, of course, what the insurance companies are very famous for, is another thing. Time is money. Just to run through some of these points, and we're going to do more on this because it bears investigation. You've got exorbitant premiums from the insurance companies, astronomically high. People being, excesses of $30,000 to $50,000, out of the reach of normal Australians, even basic cover. You've got inconsistent definitions and coverage. You've got terms like flood, storm surge, rising water. What do they mean? Well, they're interpreted differently by different insurers, and they're subject to legal challenge, obviously, or just You can't afford to take us to court. We know that, so politely we're just going to tell you to rack off. That's the usual way. Many people only discover these gaps after lodging their claim because nobody reads the small print and they make it hard to understand. So there's significant distress and financial hardship going on. Right at the moment, we've had a good run. The drought hasn't been with us for years. It's been floods, but there are going to be big ones coming because it's climate change. The next problem with the market is claims denied or delayed. According to Ian, insurers sometimes refuse to pay out claims due to technicalities or policy terms, minute details in the small print. That's a big one. We've had that a few times ourselves. The frequent reports of delayed assessments, slow claim processing, poor communication. The next one is underinsurance. Many people are underinsured, either because they can't afford full coverage or because, rising construction and building materials costs, that kind of thing. So the payout after the disaster often falls short. There's difficulty. Another one is difficulty obtaining insurance for rebuilds. And the other one is just the emotional and mental toll on communities. Lack of transparency and accountability is another one. We did a piece a while ago of the billions sitting in the federal government for this terrorism levy, which small businesses pay, farm owners and things like that. A terrorism levy. It came out of 2001 with the terrorism events and then the terrorism around the world. So, of course, the budgets went through the roof for counter-terrorism, and then they began this terrorism levy thing. It's been going for years and it's raised many billions. We've done a good piece on this already. Zach Schumer did that one. So there's a terrorism levy, and guess what? Nobody has ever made a claim, as far as we know, because we went to the relevant authorities. They said, no, nobody's made a claim under. So what's that huge billion-dollar contribution from terrorism levy sitting in the budget, which nobody ever seems to notice? What are they doing with that? It looks good for various governments, just keeping that sitting there. It makes their budgets look good, but let's face it, it's a useless thing. I mean, why would a farmer, Wagga Wagga or Gunda guy be worried about political terrorism? They wouldn't. It's a scam. So we're going to tell some stories, Ian Westmoreland stuff, and we're going to have more of a dig into here and see what can be done, because it seems obvious at this stage that if perhaps millions of Australians are underinsured and the insurance companies are making huge profits, when the disasters come, they're not going to want to pay out. There's going to be a lot of misery. So in the end, I don't favour it as a solution, but they should never have sold off these insurers in the first place. I mean, privatisation, never been a good audit done on that. But the point is, if they hadn't sold off the Commonwealth Bank either, that'd be competing as government enterprise, printing money at the Commonwealth government bond rate and competing against the banks, keeping them honest, stopping them from taking too much money off the table for borrowers. So keeping at least one insurer in every state-owned, makes a lot of sense, because they will compete with the privates. And their cost of funds will be at government discount rates. Anyway, please like, share and comment in the section below. Tell us what you think. Big issue, and we'll catch you on the next round.